All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Revolutionary Girl Utena, episode 29.
All
Holy
right.
shit, the to be continued was there the entire time.
It was there the entire time.
It was there the entire
I
time.
thought I was being gaslit.
Oh, yeah, we even went back and checked a bunch of the episodes, and sure enough, it was there.
It was there all along.
All along.
It's not some special, unique thing.
Nope. Sadly, Nanami is not that special.
No.
Or maybe for it's a good thing that Nanami is not that special. But,
right.
Yeah.
She is.
She
but
is.
she isn't.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
In our way.
But there was a new character introduced last episode. And yet, I'm not entirely sure how much we can expect to see from them in the future.
The jury's out on that regard. So, yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh,
Picking up right after.
あれはね
true.
僕の件じゃなかったんだよ君の演技面白かったよアドリブにしては上出来だ
奇跡を信じて思いは先輩待って
Oh,
Well, this is
shit.
messy.
Oh, boy.
あなたしかいないんです
手を離してくれ
信じてください
信じるって何
何って
君の何を信じればいいのかな
先輩のこと誰よりも私誰よりも私
Well, this is a very unique setup for Utena as a show.
でもさルカ先輩もひどいんじゃない
そうあの子が勝手に盛り上がってただけじゃない
ああそういうとこあるうん
あるある
まあどっちも
Right,
どっちって
because you
ところ
can't
じゃ
have
ない
both.
そうよね
ああやだ今の呼吸忘れるな
はいありがとうございました
またおせっかいか君の悪い癖だ
先輩は心配じゃないんですかしおりさんあんなに苦しんで
彼と彼女の問題だ私は関係ない、
友達があんな目に
The
遭ったの
chairs, yeah.
あなたは何にも
Her
しないんです
position in the chairs, given the scene
Yep.
at the beginning. Yep.
先輩
同じことを二度言わせるなよ
しおりさんが困ってるのに自分は関係ないだなんて僕にはわからないなあれが本当に先輩の本心なんだろうかそれもまたジュリさんの本心
Partly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
人は時として自分でも思っても見ないことを言ったりまたしてしまったりすることがあります
Mm-hmm.
ウテナ様私本当は何いいえ
Come on! Come on!
Fuck you, show.
口ほどにもなかったな君も
そうだねだがそれも予測の範囲さ
なんだと
He's found
恐
new
ろしい相手だよ
boyfriends.
天井ウテナは僕程度の才能では奇跡なんてないこれが彼女の口癖さ
Mm-hmm. She's a practiced veteran in more ways than one.
しおりあなたも私を洗いに来たのいい君だと思ってるんでしょそんなことあなたってますます最低だわ私が泣いてすがって助けてくれと思った
本気で言ってるのか
当たり前だ
驚いたなこないだは彼女に手を出すなと言っておきながら、今度はよりを戻す
Because you're hurting her. Yeah.
すまないが君のその申し出は受け入れられない
ルカ
君の友情には感心させられるよだが彼女はわがままで強引で自分勝手でおまけに嘘つきと来ている
貴様何様のつもりだ
君の指図は受けないよ
何の権利があって彼女を苦しめる
君の知ったことじゃない
と卑しいやつになり下がったんだ
Shit!
そんなことよりどうだい今度僕は君と付き合おうかと考えている無理するな
Oh, fuck. Yeah, she bit him. Good job.
Now kick him in the dick.
Oh, you piece of shit.
shit.
Don't you dare break it. Oh, the drama this episode. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
僕は憎くて憎くてたまらないか。
Oh my god, okay.
That's
Yeah, why?
ルカ、
Oh,
alright.
もし私が負けたら貴様の望み通り何でも聞いてやろう。だが私が勝った時はしおり。
分かってる。もう言うな。 君は入部した時から抜群の逸材だった。たとえ泥の中にあってもその輝きが失われることはなかった。君の才能は僕をはるかに上回る。
買いかぶりだ。
そうかな。君の魂が本当に諦めていなければ。
shit.
世界の果てを駆け巡るこの音が聞こえるはずだ。待たせたね、トーガ。君のセリフだ。
さあ我らと共にいざなおう君が望む世界へ。
僕の言うことは何でも聞くんだろ。
So she lost. I'm not hurting her right now.
Yep. I'm getting
君
2 for
の潜在
1,
能
double
力を最
damage.
大に発揮すれば君は誰にも負けない。君の能力を引き出せるのはこの僕だ。
今日な、そこまでして奇跡の力が欲しいのか。
奇跡の力が欲しいのは君だろ。
しおりは貴様の道具じゃない。
奇跡を信じて思いは届くと。
Mmm.
これは君の言葉ではなかったかな。
もし奇跡の力を手に入れたとしても、私が望むのは貴様から彼女を解放すること。それだけだ。
これで成立だな。
世界の
Ah,
果てを
here
見
he
せ
is.
た君たちに。
No, he's in front because Liam's on the right.
Toga's job was just to do the intro.
Toga's just watching jerk himself to it, you know.
He's the hype man for the, person who presents on stage.
今度はメインイベントだよ。天上ウテナ君。
You know, shadow twins or what have you, giving their little monologue.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my god.
Okay.
She's willing to be used in this way. Jeez.
Yeah.
This is gonna go very differently, potentially. Yep, so this is the duel that they fought earlier,
Yeah.
どんなに辛いものなんだ。
yeah. Wow, so this was the real duel, yeah.
青くだ、ジュニー。ジュニー、彼女は愚か者だ。自分に降ってきた奇跡が誰かの犠牲の上に成り立っていることに気づかないのだからな。
Alright. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, not the rose. Shit.
Oh, shit.
Uh-huh. You're holding out for a miracle all this time, so you... Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Wow. Isolated only to there. Yeah.
シュリ心配ない心配ないよシュリ
心配ないか。
あら、またジュリが部長代行？ええ、土屋先輩ここのところ学園には来ていませんから、あの子を怪我したみたいだ。ま、ジュリに任せとけば心配ないでしょ。すみません、筑陽線も近いというのに。
気にするな。ゆっくりその足を直すことだけを考えろ。
ねえ、知ってる？
Oh, now they
we
come
get
in.
it.
昨日亡くなった
Yep.
のよね。
Died,
いい
yep.
男だったのにかわいそう。退院したらまたフェンシングやりたいって言ってたのに。きっとフェンシング部に好きな子でもいたんだわ。そういえばあの人よく言ってたわ。愛する人に奇跡の力をあげたいって。あの人を解放してあげたいって。
Okay.
お元気ですか？私は今度あなたに会った時にぜひ尋ねてみたいことがあります。あなたは奇跡の力にどんな思いを託していたのでしょうか。そしてその思いは誰かに当てたものだったのでしょうか。願わくばその思いが届きますように。
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We did get an actual to be continued episode, and I like the choice to have it be for Jury. Like that's, I wouldn't have expected her to get a two-parter, you know, but I feel like she needed it with the level of nuance to her situation, right? And or maybe not to the situation, but like how she's been navigating it so far.
Uh-huh.
I feel like this fits, having an outside force that comes in and forces something to happen. I feel like that's something that would be needed, because otherwise things would just sort of continue as they have been.
Right.
And the decision to have the pendant be what gets broken during the duel, not the rose, I really like that.
Yeah. What do you suppose that means? The pendant being broken.
It's the harsh reality, you know?
This is just never going to...
Yeah.
Yeah, the love will go on unrequited.
Right.
Yeah.
Like...
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought, too. I was just like... I feel like this episode didn't say enough things in an overt way. I feel like it could have gone a little bit deeper into some things.
Okay.
And so I felt like the stuff with Ruka ended up kind of being a... Like... He was there and gone like too quickly.
Right.
So I get that he
literally died, so...
He literally died, so it's the... Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I was very surprised by that last 60 seconds. And,
yeah,
and
same.
it made me need to kind of like recontextualize some of the things that have been happening. But I guess it's not too bad, because the reasons for him doing the things that he did,
Right.
we didn't really understand, other than as like a sick enjoyment kind of a deal. But from the standpoint of, you know, unrequited love that was one-sided for so long that it turned nasty.
Right. Yes. That's
I get that.
I get that too.
And that, you know, he literally died with that being like, you know, those were his last moments, right?
Right.
So separate from the pendant being broken, that does make sense to me why then Jury would be affected by it a bunch, even though he was a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
Because it's the, oh, yeah, okay, I don't want to turn out like that, you know?
So did she let him use her in order to then summon the sword so that they could then do the duel? Because he wasn't driving around in the car.
Right.
Like everybody else was.
Yeah, he just...
The car also...
duel was just...
car part of the ritual was completely different as well. Like, they basically had a quiet conversation, the two of them, and then Akio at the very end kind of did his thing there, which,
Right.
you know, shows that he's got his fucked up hands over all of it. So it's it gets a bit too esoteric for me, whereas some of the other car rides were a little bit more on the nose with their symbolism. Whereas this one I feel like is, wait, but these two don't like each other. It's literally that the way the chairs are facing, they're facing in the ways towards the triangle of how this all works out. So it's there's nothing we can do there. That's just how we've ended up with things as the chips fell where they did, and we end up all loving the other person that loves the other third person in the group here. So it ends up going this way.
Not the traditional triangle of like the.
You can see the way she's facing this way, he's facing this way,
right,
and so
yep,
it's
nobody's happy.
It's a classic love triangle where nobody's happy because they all love the person that's loving the other third person. And that was something that I liked, that in this episode was probably the most, overt way they did this, in that, we see him sitting at the bottom chair here, showing that he's the one that's facing towards her, showing that he likes her.
No, that's a good point.
But I always thought it was something of where he was like, there was like a jealousy angle or something like that. But now that we know it's he was obsessed with her, and he was using the other girl to try and get at Jury. But Jury was never going to do anything like that. So then he assaults her, and
right. And given the fact that we had the previous backstory with Jury and
Shiori.
Thank you. Yeah, and Shiori, and it was a different guy, right? It was not Ruka. That made me think up until now that it's he was able to sort of assess the situation, and then he just sort of inserted himself into it, right? And because I thought that he was just doing it for I enjoy making other people dance on my puppet strings, and and manipulating them and hurting them in that way. That it's I see an opportunity.
Maybe it's so weird because I feel like there are times when characters will be brought in for a specific thing, and they're so extreme in the way that they're introduced. It's very easy to characterize him, but I have trouble actually honing down who he is.
Yeah, because
because I don't know who he's not in some cases, so it's hard to then,
because of the bit at the end where it's here's a side of him that you didn't know about. That very much seems like it's the kind of thing where it's either the late recontextualization / brushing over things,
right?
Versus or it's the
truth in tandem. It's both.
It's both, and as
how
how
they reconcile. You have to piece that together yourself.
Exactly right. Yeah. And I think with the kind of show that Utena is, that's not
that's not impossible.
That's not abnormal.
That's
right?
not abnormal. Thank you.
Right, we've been prepped to do that kind of stuff when
for
it's
the most
needed.
Part, yeah.
But
the thing is that because we get followed up on a bunch of the characters, that's not always necessary.
We know Ruka's not going to be followed up on, and then with regards to because with regards to Ruka, I feel like his situation is easier to understand. But the real question is how does this actually affect Jury and Shiori? Because I don't know exactly what the changes will be in that, and I don't know why.
No, it's Shiori hates Jury now. Because you fucked this all up.
Well, and yet at the very end, it seemed like there was some form of reconciliation when she moves in and starts walking behind her, right? Where it's I've forgiven you, and in some sense, right? And she was waiting for her, right?
Well, yeah, I have trouble sometimes when Uta as a show tries to kind of flip everything at the very last minute of an episode, and with one of these there, it's seeming like his sacrifice of being the one for her ability to then have a miracle was because he loved her and he wanted the best for her in this regard. So he ended up doing the thing that would give her the means to do this.
Right. At most, I could see it being something where, as a result of this, maybe the miracle that he gave Jury is that by exacerbating the situation, he then forced each of them to be a little bit more honest, maybe, and so
Right.
that then there could be some better understanding of each other.
But then I don't understand Shiori's character then. Like,
Well, right, because the tough bit with this situation is that while it is an unrequited love,
yeah.
I think the better, like that is accurate. I think the better way to describe it would be a one-sided love, right?
Yes.
Where it's because at some point Shiori has clued in, right?
Oh,
What-
Shiori's known for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right?
why she said the hurtful thing of like,
exactly
you're
when
always...
she went to go see her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, because it's, or not just in this episode, but in the previous episode as well.
Sure. Yes,
to
exactly.
Basically, because she knows it's going to hit her especially hard
Mm-hmm.
because of her feelings for
Right, and so
Shiori.
And so maybe the resolution here, but again, we don't understand Shiori enough to really for me to really have confidence that that's what it is.
Right.
Is that her coming up and waiting for her and walking alongside her after she said all those hurtful things is the things aren't necessarily going to change between us, and like I'm not going to like you in the same way that you were never going to like Ruka, right? That just wasn't going to happen. But I'm going to be accepting of the feelings that you have for me.
Sure.
You know?
Or they reached me a little bit more or something.
Yeah.
But then again, I thought they would have reached her already. So it's
Exactly,
it's,
right? I don't know
it's-
why this would be the thing to make that happen. Maybe because there was a bunch of bad blood because of the previous stuff that had happened. Like,
Yeah, and then again, it's the other thing where because these episodes actually have so little new footage in them a lot of the times.
right, it's we got to have the duel, we got to have the car ride and things
we
like
gotta
that.
have all these other things.
And they
it-
don't always have a ton of relevance to the exact details of the things that the characters are
Right,
going
they're
through.
more symbolic of specific things of what's going on in the minds of the characters at that immediate moment.
Right, so
And so it's hard for me to then go, well,
what's
so
the crisp picture?
Or no, how does this resolve? Like what's the resolution of this? Well, we might not follow up on it for like the rest of the show potentially. So
Right.
or
And if
until the
this-
show's very much completely over.
Well, and this is the final season, and we're a decent way through it. So I would not be surprised if this was, other than like a little tidbit at the end,
Yeah.
like Juri's not going to get another episode dedicated to her, right?
Yeah.
Like she's already gotten 2. I would not be surprised at all if this was the last one,
Right.
And yet I still don't entirely feel like I understand it.
Yeah, I think that the best part to delve deep into for me is the part where Judy made the decision, which was to rip off the flower.
Yeah.
And it's whoa, we've never seen a duelist do that. That's the first time we've seen that. I believe. Yeah, I don't think we've seen a duelist do that.
Nope. Which also I really like because that makes both times that I believe that Juri has dueled Utena, although maybe there was a third one in the middle part.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. Both times were not through Utena actually defeating Juri in like the traditional way, right? The first one I
Juri, in
believe
some
was
ways,
the
has the best-
sword falling back down.
Right. In some ways, Judy has the best record against Utena of all of them because she's never really lost against Utena. Like,
The first was like some random bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And then this one is the
No,
you defeated me in here, and so okay,
I'll give up.
I'll give up because I don't
resign.
have a reason to duel you
Right.
anymore.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel for Juri because of the lack of power she's had in situations. The idea that she would wish for miracles so that her feelings would be communicated and carried across feels like the kind of thing of someone that just feels powerless in these situations. And thus the fencing captain being the one that's been pining for her, but she could never see him in any way like that, and it all ties into her struggle as probably the most
emotionally rich character with regards to what's
with regards to their
presented
romance,
in the show.
with regards to their love specifically.
Yes,
like,
right.
Like I would say that most of the other characters have a more kind of just dysfunctional obsession rather than an actual love.
Yeah, and
even though
she's
even
got
though
her
Judy's this as
dysfunction
well,
and obsession
it
and all that
is a
stuff
dysfunctional
too.
obsession, but it's something where because we don't see her act on it as strongly, I guess.
Yeah,
This was kind of a strange episode in that we see her kind of act on it, and it's because the guy initiated his really fucked up advancing on
Right.
her which then led to her going on the car ride with him, which also feels really weird and fucked up, with Akio. So that's all that. And then from there, consenting to the duel so that she could potentially have the desires that she has be realized by
the power of Dios or whatever.
Well, via the duel, basically.
Right.
If she could win it. But then when it came right down to it, if she was going to do all this and potentially harm Shiori in any way, if there was going to be any more loss with regards to Shiori in that regard, no, she's done. She doesn't want anything to do with this. It's out. So it feels like I'm.
Oh, interesting.
I'm missing like.
So you saw the pendant as being something where she saw it as being your actions are harming Shiori.
Yeah, like she is
Gotcha.
ultimately like in some ways harming her. That's not the only part of it, but that's a part of it that I saw.
Okay.
And that's why she would take action to remove herself from the wish, is that the wish would be harmful in some ways to Shiori. It's not just that it's not what I want. It is that, but the reason why it's not what she would want is because it's something that would, it's something that would ultimately be harmful to Shiori. So
I like that. I think that is.
So it's that she was willing to sacrifice that. Is that why she then gets the hope of the opportunity of a relationship with Shiori later at the end? Maybe. I think this is one where I'm going to be coming to the Discord and the community as a whole and being like, hey, help me piece this one together a little bit, because I'm still struggling with it a bit.
The vibe that I got from the pendant being broken is that it was a cruel look at herself that she had been avoiding.
Okay, yeah, I like that too.
So it's the
but what's the cruel look? Is that she's harming Shiori, right?
Well,
like she's not necessarily in love with Shiori. She's kind of obsessed a little bit,
Yeah, like it's a brittle, fragile thing, and something that I'm not sure if this was intentional, as like it should mean something, but when the pendant broke, you saw the two halves of it, after it had shattered and everything. There wasn't a picture in there.
No.
Right?
But that also could be an animation.
That could be an animation thing, but like if it's not, right? If it is an intentional thing, it's like that wasn't even her.
No,
right?
Of course.
Yeah. And hence the acceptance of the fact that she will not love you, right? In the same way that you won't ever love Ruka. She won't love you, and that's
right.
And you just need to be able to accept that, right?
The reason why I think that's not the majority part of it is because that in some ways shows that it's not a real sacrifice to end the duel here, because she had the realization. If the realization gave her the ability to make the sacrifice so that she could then have the miracle, maybe that
right
works,
because if she was doing the duel to try and get the power to bring revolution to the world or whatever, get the miracle so that she could be with her, but then she realizes no, she doesn't want this, she would never want this. It's then I wouldn't want to win, right? Like why
am I here?
Why would I want a miracle that would change that when that's who she is?
Right, which is then the thing of where I then go, oh, wait, then why was she doing this with the car, with the It's
a bit of mindfuckery of why does anybody get swayed by what happens in that car, right? Like
yeah, it's something where I feel like her agency is played with very very ruthlessly in this episode. So it makes the decision that she has at the end of the duel feel like a very impactful one, but it's something where I don't think she's still thinking as clearly. It's much more of an emotional, just gut punch of no, I'm
well, and even then, it's not like she was the one who broke the pendant. The pendant was broken,
right,
and then as a result of that, she removes the flower, right? So yeah.
So yeah.
But I love it whenever Jodie gets focused, because I feel so much more emotion coming from her than I do from the other duelists when they get their turns in the spotlight.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Jory, if you could read her mind, it would be
it'd break
a
your
whole
heart.
other anime,
Yes. Yeah.
They probably have made anime specifically on Jory as a character.
Sure.
Yeah, But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out my Persona 5 Royal Let's Play on Twitch, and if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.